So I'm here at PAX East 2016, and I just got finished checking out this game called Pyre. It's the next game by Supergiant Games, and I'm chatting with a fellow named Amir. Amir, could you tell us a bit about your role on the team?
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder and studio director of Supergiant Games, and I mostly do game design work.
Very cool. Now, you've been designing this new game called Pyre. Could you tell the folks at home a bit about it?
Sure. So Pyre is a party-based RPG where you lead a group of exiles across a mystical purgatory, and you participate in these ancient competitions to try and earn your freedom.
Okay, very cool. Now, can you tell us a little bit about why these guys are being exiled, or is that to be revealed?
Yeah, so, I mean, they've all been exiled for different reasons, including yourself. You play as a character who's referred to as the Reader, and you've actually been exiled for the crime of literacy, which is very uncommon in this land, to actually be able to derive meaning from text.
Okay, very interesting. Now, how long has this one been worked on?
So we actually started Pyre shortly after we launched Transistor on PS4 and Steam. So in summer of 2014, we basically started. But in that time, we've also done a lot of other stuff. We brought Bastion to PlayStation 4 and Vita, and Transistor to iOS and Apple TV. So, yeah.
Very cool. Now, you've got a really neat art direction on it. I have to say, Transistor was more Art Nouveau. What would you say has driven the art in this game?
I think for Jen, it's a lot of different influences. She's, it's a mishmash of stuff from her childhood and recent influences and all that stuff. I just have a privilege to work with her, and I feel like she's always getting better, and I think she's really enjoyed the opportunity to try something new and different for the feel of the game world here and the feel of the character art. So yeah, but we're really excited about it, and the response to the art style has been really, really cool.
Now, I've noticed something about games from Supergiant thematically. I'm hoping you can answer this for me.
Yeah.
I've noticed that hope, redemption, and apocalypse all seem to be themes that run throughout your games. Is this intentional?
I think with our games, you can sort of tell that they're made by the same team, and so we try to design our games around the preoccupations of the people here. We don't have a game idea and we chase it and see if we can execute it or not. We try and combine the interests of the people here and the ideas that they have currently, and we pull them together into something that's, hopefully thematically rich and has a lot of stuff that you can think about both on the gameplay side, the narrative side, the art and the music, and everything else. So if it feels like something from us, I don't think we could ever escape that, because it's being made by the same people who made Bastion and the same people who made Transistor. Our whole team is working on this again.
Very cool. Now, I noticed, mechanically speaking, in Pyre, you have a party of 3, and that's very different from your previous games. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so we were really interested in trying a multi-character game. We wanted a larger cast of characters that you could get closer to. So for us, it's just been awesome to basically have so many characters presented and developed up front that could be interacting with each other, that you can be interacting with. Our previous games were sort of more solitary experiences, focused around the journey of a single character, and so for us today, showing this and just working on it, it's been cool to have a game with so much more going on in the character side.
Very nice. Now you're still early in development, but mechanically, what are some of the difficulties that you've run into while developing?
Sure. I mean, mechanically, I think it's been a challenge to basically design a multi-character game with control of multiple characters, but still make it work with just basically you ultimately only, when you participate in these rights, control a single unit at a time. So for us, just getting the balance of not throwing too much at you, but allow you to tactically plan, allow you to make cool, rich maneuvers, and formulate your own techniques and tactics, while still making each character feel different and each character feel useful, has been new to us, basically. And it's been super fun to work on.
Very nice. Now, there's something that I have to ask every developer.
Oh, yeah.
It's an unfair question. Are you ready for it?
Okay, I'm ready.
What is your favorite game of all time?
My favorite games of all time are Diablo 2 and Fallout. They're for sure some of my favorite, and my most played game of all time is Dota. So the original Dota, Warcraft 3 mod, and a lot of Dota 2 now as well. So that universe is my universe of influences for sure. Somewhere between that is all my favorite stuff in video games.
Very cool. Now, might I ask, how did you get into game development?
So I was actually a literature major, but I spent a lot of time on the side designing pen and paper games, and actually Supergiant features one of my longtime player characters, Darren Korb, who's our audio director who does all our music and sound effects and VO direction. So played a lot of D&D as a kid, made a lot of pen and paper games, started making digital games in college, and it kind of grew from there. I ended up working in the industry as a result of the stuff that I had worked on the side, and I always thought I was going to teach literature to high school kids because I was really interested in doing that, and instead I'm making video games.
Well, that is very cool, and that's an interesting background as far as, getting into the games industry goes. So now, when can we expect to see Pyre?
Pyre is going to come out in 2017.
Very cool, on PS4 and PC, right?
It's going to come out on PlayStation 4 and Steam.
Now, for folks at home, let's say they want to find out more about Pyre, or maybe follow you folks on Twitter, where would they go?
They'd follow us at Supergiant Games or go to supergiantgames.com.
Very cool. Well, it has been a pleasure talking with you, sir. I hope you enjoy your PAX.
No, thank you very much, Jordan. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Excellent.